everyone, Rosie here. Welcome back to my channel. As you already know, we're here to do an October TBR. I haven't historically, in the 2.5-month history of my channel, done monthly TBRs, but you know what? Spooky season is here. I have got a bunch of books that I am excited to read in October, from more to less spooky. So I thought, give it a go. I'm trying out new things. It's fun. I'm experimenting. So, yes, let's talk about my October TBR. I've organized these from most, explicitly chosen with October in mind to least. So if you're just here for the spooky ones, you don't have to watch all the way through, but I do have some cool ones at the end too, so stick around. The first book I want to read in October, not necessarily in reading order, but in the order that they are on my list, is The Mercies by Kiran Millwood Hargrave. This is a story set in remote coastal Norway in the 1600s, in a very small village in which all of the men have been killed while out at sea fishing. There's a big storm or something, and now all the men are dead, and it's just this village of women who are fending for themselves. And the reason I picked this one is that there's either witchcraft or people being accused of witchcraft. I'm not sure which it is, but either way, it sounds like there's some witchiness to it, so that sounds fun for October. And also, I'm just really excited to read this one, so that sounds great. I think there's also some LGBTQ plus romance elements, and it comes very highly recommended. The next book I want to read for my spooky October season feels is The Case of the Missing Men by Kris, Bertin, and the art by Alexander Forbes. It's a mystery thriller graphic novel set in a small town on the east coast of Canada. There's teenage detectives, mythology, and the occult apparently. And like I said, it is a mystery thriller, so I feel like thrillers are pretty spooky feeling, even if they're not magical spooky. I don't know. I think I'm with everyone on that. But I'm really excited about this one. It's been described to me as Nancy Drew meets Twin Peaks type thing. I picked it up on a whim in a bookstore a few years ago, but I've never gotten around to reading it, and this seems like the perfect time. I think I'm going to do a cutaway because the art in this looks so cool and just has beautiful fall vibes to me. I'm not sure if it's actually even set in the fall, but the art just feels fall to me. And it also weirdly looks like the town where I grew up. I don't think it's based on it, but it has that feel, so that's spooky, but also cozy. I also would really like to read The Faceless Old Woman Who Secretly Lives in Your Home by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Cranor, which, if you're familiar with Welcome to Night Vale, the concept of the faceless old woman who secretly lives in your home is familiar to you. And if you're not familiar with Welcome to Night Vale, I mean, it's basically what it says. There's not a mystery. She is a faceless old woman who secretly lives in your home. And this book is her story, and I think it jumps between her past and how she came to live as a faceless old woman secretly living in your home in Night Vale, and everything that happened to her along the way, and then also something that she's involved in the present type thing. So this sounds super cool. I love the Welcome to Night Vale novels, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. I think I've seen it described as having horror elements. I don't know if it's a full-on horror novel or it's just got elements, but either way, it sounds interesting, it sounds spooky. You're gonna hear me say it's perfect for spooky season, right? The next book that I'm hoping to read, and the last of my truly spooky season picks, is The Visitors by Catherine Burns, and I'm just going to read the blurb for this one because I can't figure out how to sum it up or say it any shorter, so I'm just going to read this. Marion Zetland lives with her domineering older brother, John, in a decaying Georgian townhouse on the edge of a northern seaside resort. A timid spinster in her 50s who still sleeps with teddy bears, Marion does her best to shut out the shocking secret that John keeps in the cellar. Until, suddenly, John has a heart attack and Marion is forced to go down to the cellar herself and face the gruesome truth that her brother has kept hidden. So this one is an actual true horror/thriller book from what I've seen, which is both exciting and also slightly terrifying. I am not at all a horror person. I have never seen a horror movie. I don't think I've ever read a book that could be classified as horror. But I've had this on like the TBR of books that I own for a really long time now, and if not in October, then when? So I'm gonna give this a go, probably, you know, during the daytime with all the lights on. But hopefully it won't be too scary and it'll be fun, and maybe I'll find a new genre I like. Probably not, but hopefully this one will be good at least. These next few books are all what I'm calling spooky season adjacent books, so they're not like explicitly spooky Halloween-y fall books, but they have elements that I think kind of tie into various themes of the season, so that's why I'm choosing to read them in October. So the first of those is Samskara, A Rite for a Dead Man by U.R. Ananthamurthy. And again, I'm going to read a bit from the blurb because I just couldn't figure out how to summarize it. I'm not good at summarizing, guys. But it says, a religious novel about a decaying Brahmin colony in the South Indian village of Karnataka. Samskara serves as an allegory rich in realistic detail, a contemporary reworking of ancient Hindu themes and myths, and a serious poetic study of a religious man living in a community of priests gone to seed. So that sounds really interesting, and from what I read in the blurb, there's someone dies, and after that death there's like a plague maybe that's caused by the death. I'm not sure about the details, but it sounds interesting. It sounds like it's a very philosophical look at death, which also just could be cool. Maybe I'll hate it, maybe I'll love it, I don't know, but another one that's been on my TBR for a really long time, and I'd really like to read it and just see if I like it instead of looking at it always being like, I don't know, should I pick it up? And like I said, it's about death, which I don't think it's about death at all in like a spooky way, but the theme does sort of fit with like the season in general. I also have another book that looks at the philosophy of death a bit, but from a very different perspective, and that is Reprimand by Terry Pratchett, which is the second Discworld book in which death is the main protagonist. And in this one, death stops doing his job, and the book explores what happens when death no longer exists and people no longer die. So this is a reread for me, but it's been at least 5 or 6 years since I first read it, and I think I've only read it once. So I don't really remember too much about it other than that core concept, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. I am looking forward to basically discovering it again, because like I said, I don't really remember this book that much. But yet another look on death, slightly spooky, but not like explicitly spooky. But I'll probably need some Terry Pratchett this month. I mean, let's be real, I need Terry Pratchett every month. The last of my spooky adjacent books is Soulless by Gail Carriger, which is a paranormal steampunk romance with a mystery element. And it's also the first in the Parasol Protectorate series. And this one is the story of Alexia, who is a 27-year-old spinster, and she finds herself having accidentally murdered a vampire at a party. In light of this, Lord Macon, who is a werewolf, is sent on behalf of Queen Victoria to investigate what's happened in this killing, and their lives get thrown together in supernatural intrigue. This is another reread for me, but again, it's been a long time since I've read it, so I'm really looking forward to diving back into Gail Carriger's writing and just enjoying it. There's such a different feeling when you're reading something where you know the plot outcomes and you can just like let yourself enjoy the writing a bit more almost. I don't know. Anyone else feel that way? Just me? Now, I have 2 more books to talk about, and they are not at all spooky season related, but I want to read them in October anyways. And the first of those is Central Station by Lavie Tidhar. This one I'm reading is a buddy read with Amrita from Amrita by the Books. I will link her channel up here, you should definitely check it out. But from what I know, this is a sci-fi novel with aliens, cyborgs, like space station or something. And I think there's a lot of like humanity's problems haven't just gone away because we're in space. We still have issues of poverty and like disease, I think, but I'm not positive. I don't know too much about this. The blurb is amazing, but it's one of those blurbs where I read it and I go, I want to read this book, and also I have no idea what this book is about. So hopefully my wrap-up will be better, but I'm really excited about this. It sounds really cool. It looks like the world building is really interesting. And I haven't read any sci-fi in a long time. I don't think. I might be forgetting stuff, but I don't think I've read any sci-fi in a long time. So this should be neat. And the final book I'm hoping to read in October is The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. In case you've been living in a hole in the ground, this is the story of Frodo Baggins, who has inherited a magic ring from his uncle Bilbo and must now set out on a quest to destroy it, and everything that comes along with it. I'm reading this for the TolkienAlong, which is a read-along in which we are reading Tolkien's works. I did a whole video with a tag about it. Last video? I don't know. Timelines are confusing. Anyway, I will link my tag up above. But yes, I'm really excited to reread this. I love Lord of the Rings. It's one of those books that I never get tired of rereading, and I think it's going to be super fun to reread it with some discussion and other people who are reading it this time. So I'm also so excited about this. So that's everything I'm hoping to read in October. If you've read any of these and want to tell me where I should start or what I should be most excited about, please let me know down below. If you'd like to share your TBR for October, do you get into the spooky season vibes and like read spooky books or not? Are you a horror person, a thriller person? If you liked this video, please hit the like button down below. If you would like to see more of my videos, including a wrap up at the end of October where hopefully I tell you what I thought of all these books, please hit subscribe, and thank you for watching.